Today we are playing the eBay lottery because we bought a gaming PC potentially that may or may not have a GPU.
I found a listing that had maybe one GPU option, oh no, another GPU option, or it may not have a GPU at all, but for $245, we're gonna take that gamble after a word from today's sponsor.
Nothing screams broke boy more than an unactivated copy of Windows, so that's where our sponsor can help you out. gvgmall is an online marketplace that sells Windows licenses and game keys. It's crazy how easy it is to activate Windows. All you gotta do on gvgmall is go buy a key using code TB20, and then once they send you that code, all you gotta do is copy and paste that code into the Windows activation settings, and boom, you now have an activated copy of Windows. So what are you waiting for? Head to gvgmall today and be sure to use that code TB20 to save a bit at checkout. Thanks again to gvgmall for sponsoring today's video. Now back to you, Matt and Jackson.
All right, so we have not actually gotten to see this Dell XPS just yet, and funny enough, the guy editing this video used to have a Dell XPS for a really long time with the GTX 1080 in it. I don't think we're gonna be that lucky, but man, wouldn't that be cool? We've got an OEM keyboard with it.
Yeah, so the theory of this thing is $245. Oh, the box was in the way. $245. It should come with an i7-8700, which is a pretty solid CPU still. It is a 6-core 12-thread, but the idea is it either comes with a 1066 gig. In some world, it could come with a 1650, depending on where in the listing you look, or it could come with no GPU at all. But based on the order, where the actual title of the listing doesn't say a GPU and only the description says a GPU, I'm a little bit concerned that it may not come with one at all. He did it. And there's a power cord. They use a lot of bubble wrap. A+ on packaging, I'll give them that at least. Imagine.
It's weird because I think this is a pretty big seller. Maybe they just list so many PCs they weren't paying attention.
I always like to check to see what other items they're selling, which currently they're selling 69 items. Nice. And they have other office computers, like a lot of other office computers. So we just have all office PCs.
Dude, this knife is not safe. Look at this.
Ooh, that's a workers' comp claim right there. And someone in our last video said that we need to buy, we mentioned in the video, and they all said yes, we need to get Wolverine claws.
Ooh.
To unbox.
But it needs to be ones that work though is the problem.
Yeah.
And them legal?
You know where they can get that?
I will say, this seller did a really good job of packaging. That's something that we cannot often say about eBay sellers. This actually looks like ToastyBros level boxing.
Insert the clip of the comforter PC.
Yep.
That is always the do not do this standard.
Ooh, this thing's kind of clean looking. Hold up.
This is the clean XPS.
So I guess this bubble wrap job is a little
Yeah, I
tricky.
guess the reason why this could have a graphics card is the XPS line is kind of the workstation line, and it's pretty common for those to come with graphics cards. God, it's so loud.
I see a GPU.
Oh!
Ooh, hold up.
We have a GPU.
Hold up. It has 5 display outs. Really
Looks pretty
clean.
solid.
Besides-
McAllister go down memory lane because I think this was the exact same model XPS that he was running for a long time.
All right, ready? So we're gonna we gotta unlock this guy, pull this one, and then we can reveal
A 1060.
1060.
Wow.
Man, I didn't know these things came with 5 display outs normally.
Okay, so that makes the most sense because 1060 is on the listing the most. There was a 1650 thrown in there, so whatever. But at least it is a graphics card for $245. Normally you would get this system without a GPU. So price, so far, pretty solid.
I do see that we have an NVMe, it looks like, unless that's just Optane memory. Oh, it's Intel Optane memory.
Oh, it has an Optane memory drive, so that means Optane with a hard drive, I guess.
I don't see a hard drive though.
So does it have Optane in an SSD? Or do they think the SSD, because that's not gonna work.
I don't even see an SSD yet, is the scary part. Oh, I have to unlock this one now, check this out. Oop. Yeah, so I actually didn't even need to do that one yet. Man, I think they thought.
It says SSD capacity 512 gig.
512 gig Optane, is that a thing? Oh, it's Intel Optane memory with solid state storage, 512 gig. I did not know that was a thing.
Okay, which is weird. I guess it would make the hard drive you add to the system faster.
Right.
Optane was a basically way for Intel to create almost like an SSD style drive that would cache your hard drives to where your hard drives could be a little bit faster, and it quickly died out.
Jonah, look.
When's the original peel?
Oh, and it's a rare EVGA card.
It's illegal, just kidding.
It's not deep cool.
It's not deep
Not get
cool.
ahead of ourselves,
Let's not
guys.
get too crazy here.
Okay, so this system could use a little bit of a cleaning. I mean, check out the fan here, but we do have dual channel DDR4 RAM. What CPU do we have here?
So we should have the i7-8700.
Okay, yeah, so we got LGA 1151. Where we're looking at 16 gigs dual channel.
Yep, 16 gigs dual channel.
16 gigs at 2666. All right, so it's looking pretty solid so far. I think one of the things we'll have to do is pull out a little ToastyBros cleaning kit.
I think we need to. Yeah, we have a cleaning kit at PCBros.tech. If you guys want the ability to clean your PCs, very nice, and all in one package. We got those at PCBros. I think this one's definitely gonna be a thermal paste swap because the 8700 will run a bit hot, and that cooler is okay. I imagine it's probably gonna run a little toasty, but with some thermal paste, it should be better.
We do have some extra power if we wanted to upgrade the GPU ever, so it is kind of odd though. It's a 6-pin and an 8-pin.
Wonder if we can find the power supply wattage.
I'm gonna have to do the usual.
Check it out.
Just hiding it.
I hope it's something pretty solid because then you could easily upgrade to another GPU if you want. Because 8700, I think you could easily do, I don't know, like 3060, something like that. I think it'd be fine.
Oh, here we go. Max power 460. It's a very specific number.
A little bit low, but again, you could still do like an RX 6600 pretty easily with that. We've done 450 watt builds with lesser, especially with the RX 6600, so that'd be a good upgrade option.
Hey, this is pretty close to my wattage, 550 watts.
At 550, he's got something pretty crazy on that 4070 Super with a 9800X 3D. You can get away with a lot less, guys. Doesn't mean you have to, but you can.
All right, so we'll leave this stuff out, and I guess before we should probably turn this on and make sure it actually works.
We have the
I know
monitor.
sometimes
Let's
you
test
guys,
everything.
yeah, you guys blame us for breaking things when we just clean the build, but yeah, we'll make sure it works first. We'll go grab a PCBros cleaning kit, and then we will get to cleaning. All right, we ready?
I think so. Power on.
The screen's already been triggered to go on, so that's good.
Oh, there we go. We posted, and Jackson's nibbling on it. No keyboard.
No!
Oh, there's no keyboard. Wait, is this gonna have Windows? Oh, it has Windows.
Ooh, 10 or 11.
It's looking like
this is 11 compatible.
11.
Ooh, all right, cool. So we know it works. Let's go and get to cleaning.
All right, guys, we are kicking things off in Fortnite, which is a game I would expect this PC to be solid at. We got 1080p unlimited frame rate running DX11 currently, far view distance and low textures, and elephant in the room, which actually is doing a little bit better right now, the CPU and that CPU cooler. One, it is quite loud under full load. It's probably gonna ramp up here in just a second. Actually, no, it is downclocked enough to where it is chilling a little bit at about 4 gigahertz. This CPU cooler is not adequate enough for this PC case. Also, the airflow on this case is kind of non-existent, so it's kind of a 1-2 punch where you're not getting enough airflow and that CPU is not being able to breathe with the cooler that it currently has. I'm gonna see what we have around the office, see if there's any chance we can mod something a little bit better in there, because again, we got this for a pretty decent price. If we can mod it to make it better, that would be awesome. It'd be awesome too if I don't die to this guy. Dude is a one-tap. Oh, I'm about to get killed by this guy, aren't I? Almost. But, I mean, we're in about 80 degrees Celsius gaming in a CPU-bound game. About 4.2 gigahertz, definitely lower than the clock speed could be on this CPU, but we're getting solid enough performance. I mean, for a $245 PC right now, getting about 100 FPS, I am not complaining for sure. Now, once we definitely upgrade that GPU, if we upgrade that GPU in this scenario, we will definitely be pushing that CPU even harder, and therefore it will run even hotter. So you definitely would want to figure out a cooling solution to make this work. But we're talking about a $245 PC, but I will say, given all these like cooling issues, I think the price makes a lot more sense. It's not like a mind-blowing deal. It's more or less, yeah, it's got some problems, so that's why it's so cheap. I love Fortnite AI. Right, let's hide in here real quick. And I'm gonna take this side panel off. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. You never know. Let's just bounce this way and see what happens. Whoa, what is that? Back up. That AR is tough, man. Okay, what is this? Oh, did I stick him? Ooh, that was tough. Oh, dude just walked right into it. Dude just walked right into that one. Bots, man. Oh yeah, that GPU temp is definitely dropping. We're in the lower 70s now. Just needed some time to catch up there. Lower 70s. Well, I can't seem to find anybody else, so I'm gonna go ahead and mess with the cooler a little bit, see what we end up getting. Maybe I can get a new cooler to fit on there. I have one in mind at ToastyBros that I'm gonna give a try, and then I'll Jack's play some Marvel Rivals. If I don't get it working, you obviously won't see any footage of it, and we'll jump straight to Marvel Rivals. If I do get it working, I will show you guys on camera. Yeah, we'll run some benchmarks, a little bit more benchmarks on this PC and see if for the value we paid, or the money we paid, was it a good deal? Let's find out. Okay guys, well, I tried a couple different cooler options to see if we could upgrade the cooler here, and unfortunately, just with what we have on hand, we don't really have a lot of options that would work. I was hoping this Cooler Master cooler that I found would work, but the actual screws don't line up with the holes on the mounting hardware, so we're kind of stuck there. And you might say, well, why don't you just remove the back plate? Well, unfortunately, this back plate is actually bolted into the back of the board. I could brute my way through it and get rid of it and potentially rig something up to where we could put one of those low profile coolers on there. I tried with this ID Cooling IS55, but it's just one of those things where for the price paid and the amount of effort we have to do to actually, well, make this work and rig it up, it's one of those things where I don't think it's necessarily worth it for a $245 computer. And again, I don't want to risk destroying this computer just for the sake of getting slightly better temperatures. It's usable, but it just runs a bit warmer than usual. One thing you can do is probably add a fan right here, which has some decent fan mounting options. And I've seen some people online, if you want to use a 120 mil AIO, you do have to do some drilling on the outside here, but you could force a 120 mil AIO right here and replace this 90 mil fan. But for the sake of the video, we're going to keep everything stock. It is not unstable by any regards. It's just running warmer than we'd like to see. I was able to add this slim Arctic fan to this front spot right here. I was able to get a screw in. It is not the most secure setup in the world, but at least for testing, this will work. And if it does work and actually make a big difference temperature-wise, I'll be able to work on a better mounting solution for this. But it is in there. It looks good. I don't really know if this is going to make much of a difference because, as you can see from this front panel, there is like no ventilation here. So I don't really know where it's going to pull air from or if this air movement is actually going to help at all. But at the very least, I figured I'd try this. CPU cooler would definitely be a better option if you can find one. But for this build, I think this is going to be the best bet. Let's go ahead and do some Marvel Rivals benchmarking with this configuration and see if it makes a difference.
Alright guys, we are playing Marvel Rivals on our little eBay PC here, and we're currently running 1080p, we got FSR set to quality, and we're running all low settings, no frame cap, and it feels like we got a frame cap. We're kind of around 60.
Yep, and as you see, the fan we added, as expected, didn't really do that much. It's really a CPU cooler issue, and even then the GPU is getting warm because there's just not enough airflow in this case. But it's one of those things where we are losing performance, but in the long term, I think it does make more sense why this PC was $245. It just runs loud and it runs hot.
Yeah, which it's interesting that like these just didn't come with a better cooler, because if it was an office PC, like just normal office, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, who's gonna push an i7 to the max? But with it being an XPS, it's kind of designed for like kind of more workstation tasks. I really think it should have had a better cooler from the factory.
There's a lot of videos on YouTube from years ago, people just doing like video renders or whatever and being like, the renders are just incredibly slow, and there's like, it's way slower than I expected, and I was like, oh, it overheated. And apparently Dell made a cooler that you could swap in there if you send it to Dell, but now
so
those are very rare. Yeah, those are very rare to find now, so all in all, this is from an era where airflow was just not very much thought of.
Beer Mag Squeedo. Check it out.
I didn't even know there was melee.
Oh, goodness. Oh my god, I cannot hit him. I'm gonna get this healer real quick. No, this needs to stop. Oh, big ol'. Move back in here. Uh oh, we're about to get tornadoed. Oh god, I'm getting tornadoed. Just me. Oh my goodness.
I think your team's all dead.
Oh, did you just steal my ult?
Nope. Boom!
Oh, yeah.
5 booms.
Big boom. Yo. Grab some damage with it. Ooh.
Oh, they're done. They're done!
Oh god, it's beginning and beginning.
And that's a dub. Whoop,
we won
whoop.
finally. I mean, yeah, the temp is like, it gets hot, but it does hover once it reaches a certain point, which is definitely a good sign.
So yeah, we're on some other benchmarks. Again, not the most cooling PC in the world, but you know what? It gets the job done. $245, kind of what we expect for the price point. We're on some other benchmarks and wrap this video up real quick.
Okay guys, we just got done benchmarking this XPS, and we definitely got the lucky side of the scenario. We were either going to get no GPU at all or something in between a GTX 1060, but we got the 1060.
Now this thing does run hot, and it's one of those things, if you don't like a loud computer, you probably don't want to use this PC. But with a little modification, someone could turn this into a pretty awesome gaming PC if they wanted to. We decided to run one other game, CS2, to really stress the CPU to see what kind of performance we can get. We ended up with an average of 229 FPS with 1% low of 90. That 8700 is not reaching its full potential because of that cooler, but it's still performing solid enough. And that 3D Mark score ended up being a score of 4,363, which for the price for what we paid is a 6 cent per point score. All in all, this PC, I think we got a good deal. Is it an amazing deal? Not necessarily, because of all the cooling issues, but we got a graphics card, and there was a chance we weren't going to get a graphics card, so that's a thumbs up for that. If you guys think we got a good deal, let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to shop on eBay for a PC like this yourself, link in the description down below will be a fill link, and it will help us out.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
This PC right here will be for sale at PCBros.tech with a great price.
You won't have to bend over backwards for some great deals, guys, when you can go to PCBros.tech and buy a PC today. Use code ToastyBros on checkout. You'll save 3% of your next purchase. See you guys later. Goodbye.